you just oh no ji on dajit ko star on ta runi letine wada do garon ga gari bas ya ti sot as tank garon ko dana letine stadio on zagi dana goi guskat ne ganon goi letine wada do goi jini ganya do ger dana goi gu o quads de anunkos letine wada do yet sot on ner on da hetston gonna go here de hawa ko okay, at again, dam da way out on Hetzran, because it's Tassaran, and Ganungwe. Dam da way out on Hetzra, a way go on a Gordon, a guy on us, that's gonna go. Dono, dam da way, I don't Hetzra, Gani Gurio, Gayandawana, balance mine. Okay, so as always, everybody knows that whenever we get together, have to do the Honda Gutty with Dekwa. I didn't even think about it this time that asking somebody else to do it. So don't forget when we come to the end that we're gonna ask somebody else to do the closing. Okay, here we are again. We spoke today. And we had a really good discussion this afternoon about different things. And we were getting to like uncover like layers of a word or layers of a concept. Anyways, we had a really good discussion. Gerda already gave us one word that we were working on. So I guess we're gonna begin from there, Gerda, and we'll just see. What we're gonna do is we're gonna like have a discussion around this subject to discover, just to familiarize ourselves with the concept here. Okay, so
because my computer again. Oh yeah.
the word. Okay, we're having a problem sharing what the word was this afternoon. Edith just got a new computer and her computer is not working very well. Okay, there it is. Okay, what is it? I can't not see. Can you make it a little bigger?
Let's see.
Okay, that's spelled wrong. They got so guacas. Gacas. They got, okay. They got so gua, K-W-A. K-H-A-S. That's so guacas. Yeah, that's it. The rest removed. They got so guacas means to crack a nut or a skull, a hard skull. That's what we call somebody with a hard head. Osogwa, like a nut. So when you crack some people have a head like a nut. Anyways, they got so guacas, and that means it opens the skull or a nut.
They got so guac.
They got so guacas.
They got so guacas. They got so guacas.
They got some guacas.
Yeah.
Hans, you would be next.
They got so guacas.
Yeah, they got so guacas.
Stephen.
They got so guacas.
Excellent.
Harold or Desiree? Hello, Harold, Desiree.
Sorry, 1 second.
So guacas. They got so.
They got so guacas.
They got so guacas.
Put a space there after they got so.
Okay, Grace, Merrick, one of yous.
Yeah.
They got so guacas.
Yeah, that's the one. They got so guacas.
They got so guacas.
Merrick.
They got so guacas.
Okay, we just made a mistake. Okay, they got, keep that. They got so guaca,
They got so. Oops.
guaca. SH. No, just one A. Go back. We'll remove one S. They got so guaca. Okay, ka and SHONS. No, no, no. You they got so guaca. KH.
They got so.
They got so KHA. They got so guaca. Yeah, that's it. They got so cautious. And that's, we'll have to start over. They got so cautious. That separates that cracks the nut. So, because he does it here, they got so cautious.
Okay, let just me give the or sorry. Let just me give the order. Okay. So usual Longhouse, then Marie-Claude, then Edith, then France, Elsa, Stephen, Harold, and Desiree, Grace, Merrick, and then me. The new one will just go before me. So now it's Longhouse turn.
They got so guacacious.
They got.
They got so cautious.
They got so guacacious.
They got so guacachos. They got so guacachos.
They got so guacachuns.
They got so. Guagachon.
How do I do it?
Speak.
Stephen,
Guagachon.
Stephen,
I'm sorry. They got so guacachos.
Grace,
They got so guagachos.
Merrick,
They got so guacations.
they got so guacacho. Circle.
Okay, they got so cautious. Put a
We're gonna go back to Edith, just 1 minute. If I can share.
Speak.
Okay, while we're waiting to get this technical thing out of the way, the reason why we started talking about this, like you think about this, who's ever gonna really use this phrase? Where can you see that happening? Unless you're in a fight with somebody and you're gonna crack their skull open, you're not really gonna see where you're gonna use this term or this phrase. Where it is what we were talking about, is when you're when the seed is planted in the ground, or when between the act of love between a woman and a man, or between any species, right at the stage where the seed becomes fertilized, and where it cracks open, where it busts open into growing. Like if you can imagine a kernel of corn in the ground, and you prepare the ground, you got your seeds ready, and just when it's in the ground, like it cracks open, and then the little green shoot comes out of it. Okay, this is what we were talking about here, and there's more discussion around it that we have to have, like, to get a better understanding about this. So there isn't really say right now a set thing, except for us to expand, for Waiagera to expand on the Kanienkeha side, and us to look at what that instance actually represents on many different levels. On the level of, say, again, of any species when they're multiplying, right? When for humans, when the cell starts to like explode into duplicating the cells. So here also, like in a nut, when you see a nut crack open, but this is also in relation to, at the same time, within law, when a person is has broken law to the degree of, say, treason, or there's only two other things, there's murder, rape, that would have the person put to death instantly. And this is where, since it's all about the mind, that this is where the head is bashed in. to release the evil that is in that mind. Thinking again of a person who would commit such a crime that in any country, people know that there is death penalties. So we're thinking of on that level to release that evil that's in that person's head, or to release that life in that nut or that seed. Anyways, this is where we're at. So really, it's just for us to discuss this and to see where does it go. Waiagirdu, what do you see other connections to this in Kanienkeha?
Well, it's well, they got so cautious. You could even, well, I mean, it's like it's a rough word. They got so cautious. It's because the word is onunzi. When you're hitting somebody, you're hitting them radinogine or yenogine. Well, it's usually men anyway. Radinogine on their heads. Onunzi is our head. So the senu, let's see. Don't senu wareke is the word there. Don't senu wareke. Oh wait, look, I'll write the word.
Just to let you know that Merrick and Elsa raised their hand.
Okay, well, while we're waiting, let's go to that then.
And then Elsa.
Merrick.
Could this be used for, like, say when a squirrel goes to crack a nut open to eat it? Is that related at all?
Yeah.
And even as maybe this may sound like odd to some people or whatever, but fact is that when animals are eating other animals, you see for some reason they do like to chew into the skull, and I guess it's the brains that they go after. So you could even use that word to describe that motion, right?
Yeah, yeah. But if you ever see a squirrel, their teeth are so sharp that when they chew that, I mean, you and I can't do it. We need a hammer, but then they just go right through it in a matter of seconds. So their teeth must be razor sharp. So that's, see now, here's the word I put there, dohuanuwareke, and that's when you would use that when a chief has erred, like Gazito Zerillo said, dohuanuwareke, so that it would be the male representatives that would club him, dohuanuwareke.
We have to take out one WA, right? Because it's double. Like
Dohuanuwareke.
like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dohuanuwareke, yeah. See, Onuwara, that's the brain. They hit him on the brain. Dohuanuwareke.
You should put water here.
If you want to kill a person, you kill the brain, the rest goes behind it.
Which part is the brain?
Oh no.
Nuwara. Nuwara.
How can we? I know we did the brain previously, but how could we put something here to identify that part is the brain?
Besides the word, put onoa.
Dehu is they, them. Dohuwa, and then the action wahwa nuwareke. That's when he's clubbed. But we can put N-O-N-H. N-O-N-H, Dohuanu wareke. So they hit him on the brain. I don't know who's writing right now.
Like that.
No,
No.
the no word again.
N-O-N-H.
Here. Like that.
Yeah.
And
You could put a space there to either where you splash. Yeah. The Huanu Wareke. Nu. There is your brain. Onu Wara.
New. Okay. Brain. In English, we gotta put some kind of
If we're putting it online, we could make it so that you click on it and it can go to like onwara on the other word. Like you could take parts of the word and make it so when you click, it goes and then you can hear the other word and what it means.
Do you know how to do that?
So awesome.
It's a good idea.
Can you do that? Are you volunteering?
Yeah, can I just go ahead and do that with the videos that we already have and I just post it on my GitHub like Harold has on his GitHub? Does that work?
Go for it.
Cool.
Okay, and Wargera, this is exclusively male, right? It's there's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
women.
Well, I never heard of the women clubbing a man to death. It's usually the warrior, the war chief, and he's that's their job. They're the war chiefs.
Mhm.
That's
Okay,
they're the executioners, but they don't do it on their own. They're told their job.
And there's a reason why too.
okay, so in order for this to be here, he will be clubbed. We gotta put the reason here, but we gotta try to make it as small as possible. So whenever anybody is clubbed to death, this is only has to do with the highest levels of treason or crime, which is rape is automatically put to death. Anything to do with if it's child violation, automatically put to death. So there is really only two categories of violation of law that would constitute a person receiving the death penalty. And it's the same as in all countries. If you committed high treason in any country, every country has a death penalty, and that is some of them have hanging, some of them have firing squad, some even still have beheading, as you know. With us, it was a matter of everything being connected to the brain and thinking. And so when a person was like that, it was a matter of that inside of their brain, in their head, there is corruption to the degree that constitutes taking it out of there. And so this is what is done again, in the most grievous offenses, that they are put to death immediately. Somebody rapes a woman, they are put to death immediately. There is no trial for that person. When a person commits a crime such as that, unlike in the or any crime, unlike in the non-native world, you don't have access to the law to protect yourself after you break it. This is some of the crazy corruptions in the non-native world, that the criminals are using the law to protect themselves, and they use other criminals, lawyers, judges, to conspire with them to make sure that things such as rape goes unpunished and is actually allowed in the world. So we can see that today, that this is what the state of the world is, basically, where criminals are ruling everybody, where the crimes to our children, and especially the crimes upon our daughters, are perpetrated to the highest levels of so-called governments, that it has now become it's an accepted thing. It is the status quo now, to basically, and in a non-native world, it always has been, basically, to basically have women as enslaved. And as you know, that if they were raped and they end up in court, the woman is the one that's put on trial. The woman is the one that is attacked because of the male dominance. So it's because of this right now, because we got a convergence here, a convergence of the time of year of planting, where the seeds are going to be cracking open like this. And at the same time, we see crimes against humanity so great that I'm pretty sure all of us can identify that there's a lot of world leaders, or a lot of people in this world, who are spearheading a lot of bad, that these people are doing it on such a level doing bad to our entire planet that constitutes these people being receiving the death penalty, because it is treason, high treason against humanity. For instance, right now, we know that there are billionaires. Now, people, just because they have money, that are able to overpower whole countries with their agendas, to overpower even the United Nations, so that one corporation, one billionaire can push their garbage of putting aluminum, spraying aluminum in the Earth's atmosphere to do this. And you know, this is Bill Gates. You know, this is happening through other billionaires, because all people who have money put their money into hedge funds where it's going to have the highest returns. So it's these things that are subsidized by governments that gives the highest returns. And so right now we're seeing all of humanity being under the thumb, where we're basically like slaves led to our deaths because one person is pushing their agenda through economics. And this is high treason, not only to the country that that person is a part of, but is high treason to all humanity. And when people are guilty of high treason, they are put to death. And so we are discussing this only to bring our minds to the level of comprehension of the degree of the crimes that are being committed right now in front of our eyes to our children, so that we comprehend it and we start to at least pull ourselves out of the sleep that we're in, because everybody's allowing this to happen. So here then we have to identify the reasons why this would happen. So Guayaguero, I don't know what you would come up with in Kanienkeha. I'll think of an English term that would fit, like who receives the death penalty. You know,
Okay, well, before that, I put that word in there, Zahaderi, and that's he erred in law.
Sehadari wa
Zahaderi Wadewate.
Sehadari wahte wahte.
Oh, we didn't do the other one either, huh?
Oh, we did?
No.
Okay. All right, we got to do the both of them then.
Okay. The one what it get.
Te hu wa nu warake.
Hold it, go. We got to go back. It's don't who want to what it get.
Don.
Go ahead.
Don. Don hu wa nu nu.
Okay, I'll start again. Come right after me. The who want to what it get.
Don hu wa nu warake.
The whole one knew what again.
The whole Watergate.
Dahuano warage.
Muareke.
Steven? Steven, go ahead. We don't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. De Humanu Watergate.
Watergate.
Chris, you're muted.
Ehun wa nun wa eke.
And who want to Watergate?
Janet?
Dohon Wanun Watergate.
What it get.
Watergate.
Dahuanu Warege. Circle. And then Elsa that asked to speak, huh?
I was wondering, you know, if we could say that it was cracking up, like cracking the illusion for somebody to awake you know, to be relieved from the illusion.
Well, okay, that would be basically each person's own perception. To know that you're dealing with the base, the common, whatever, the common experience that we're all referring to is that it's a person who is basically receiving the death penalty. So now when you're thinking about what's in their head, well, then you can expand, you know, like once you identify that guy, like we could think right now, think of anybody in the world that you would think who would be clubbed. I could think of somebody right now. I know that somebody such as Bill Gates in what he is doing in the world, pushing the something that affects and changes the entire world's health, that him in his company pushing to put particles, aluminum and other particles in the air, that this is a crime against all humanity. And when a person is guilty again of a crime against all humanity, then they are subjected to the death penalty. So we can think of a lot of people in this world who would be subjected to it. Now, we're not saying we're going to go out and apply the death penalty. What we're talking about is to acknowledge within law. This is what we're doing right now. The Kanienkeha classes are incorporated with, as you know, everything else that we're doing within law. So to understand within law the levels of grievances, which right now the people just do not comprehend, to know the levels of grievances and then what the law applied would look like. So in your mind, yes, you could expand there to say of that person that yes, once they are clubbed to death, that it's removing the illusion out of the, not only of their mind, but of the people. But in this case, like to identify that, I would say not on this level where it's like a, again, like a general knowledge that we all have. It would be limited to you expanding it, like you said, in that way.
Well, this is this we're talking about the great law, not just like the white man. What he wants to do with his people, which they just slap them on the hand. That's okay. That's why we have the 2 row. We're in our boat. So if you break the Goa and you do something great, you know, when there's no water, they didn't do it for nothing. It's not a trivial thing. You didn't go through a stop sign. You violated the law, like Gazito Zedillo mentioned a bunch of things about violating a woman, blah, 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 murder, blah, 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 and you're told, so you know, for you to walk in that room, you know that this is it. But you knew you were already given your warnings. So that person, there's no saving them. There's only one, and they know what they did. They already know, all of us that are in the law. You'll say, well, you know, you'd have to say, well, again, it must be crazy, or maybe he wants to die soon. He won't listen, and we can't have that person around.
So then here, maybe we say this only happens to, or this is only applied to, however it would be said, to crimes of rape, murder, and high treason.
Well, I mean, that's why the next word covers it all. So how did he what? Well, he erred in law. So it covers all those things. You don't have to itemize them.
Well, for the purpose of the English word,
okay.
the English world, in order for them to comprehend this, because when they hear, oh, great peace, you know, and then they're going to see in the language written there, and they're going to see, wow, you'll be clubbed, hear it in law. Well, you know, they're not going to really comprehend that. So we're going to identify that there's to be applied only under the crime of what did we say? Rape, murder, high treason.
Okay, then you put that in, but yeah, I agree with you, just that. It's like a
So
side,
when it's identified, murder, rape, and high treason, it's not really identified in that word though, right? So
yeah, it's already it's in law, so it's in law. You're not always gonna go and be specific on certain things. You know what law you broke when you walked in and you were brought before the people. They didn't
Okay.
bring you there. They didn't bring you in there for nothing. You
Well,
know.
here, this is what we want to identify clearly. Now, just imagine, like you're going to court. Okay, you're being brought into court. You're being charged with the death penalty. Now you're being told specifically what it is. So we gotta say only applied to rape, murder, and high treason.
Okay. Go ahead.
So we gotta have the Kanienkeha words for that. Applied only to rape, murder, and high treason.
I think Elsa has another question. She raised her hand again.
No.
No? Okay, so I will.
Did I raise my hand?
See, a lot of people identify, or I've heard this all my life, knowing that in the Great Law of Peace, there is something such as the death penalty. And when non-native people hear that, well, you bash the person's head in, they automatically go, oh my God, you are so brutal, or you're so uncivilized. Well, every non-native society has the exact same thing of high treason or the death penalty for either high treason or murder or whatever else. And when it comes to that, if anybody can find, if you want to say a humane way, a way that is acceptable to people, well, you're never going to find that, because the person who commits the crime in the first place goes outside of everything that is human, goes outside of every law of creation. And so such a person is not allowed to continue within that creation. Imagine it's in your family and there's somebody who kills your daughter. You allow them to keep living in your house without any kind of anything. You just allow them to continue being there. This is really we're getting to the crux of the crime that is committed here. And we're not only talking really just about an individual. We're talking about the crime that has been committed here in Turtle Island now for hundreds of years. So what we're doing is we're breaking it down first at the very smallest level, with the individual level where it's understandable. Oh, a person who raped? Yeah. Yep. A person who murdered? Yep. A person who committed high treason? Yes, they'll understand that. Soon we're going to get to the higher levels of collective crimes of entire cultures, peoples.
Okay, I put the words in then. Tasagonuhtunse, wasagohtunte is murder, and wasagodohninu, that's treason. I don't know who's writing now, so whoever's writing should have been writing.
Maybe if you can send it to the Longhouse, that will be maybe.
Well, I don't know who's getting it. I just put it on chat and I'm sending it out in, so.
There's two Longhouse. You don't know which one you want. No, that one is Longhouse to mine, but you're still Longhouse. You're not gonna do.
So who got this then? Who got this? Who's writing?
Okay, Edith's doing it now.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
Tasagonuhtunse, and that's rape. Wasagohtunte, that's murder. Wasagodohninu, treason. But we'll go one at a time. We'll just do the rape first, then we'll come back. So we're ready. I'm gonna start.
We still gotta do which word? Go to the word that we didn't do yet.
Hang on.
Oh, Sahaderi Wadewate.
Sahati.
Okay, now I'm gonna say it and then let's go in order. Says everybody is ready. 3, 2, 1. Sahaderi Wadewate.
Sahaderi Wadewate.
Sahaderi wate wate.
Sahaderi wate wate.
Diri wade de wate.
Sahateri wate wate.
Se haderi wate wate.
I don't know why, Harold, we didn't hear you.
Sahaderi wate.
Okay, good.
Sahati riwate wate.
Sahaderi wate wate.
Janet,
Sahaderi wate wate.
Very
Lisa,
Sehad
go ahead, Lisa.
Sehad Rahawa Dewata.
Okay, I'm gonna say it again. Sahaderi Wadewate.
Sehadi Riwati.
Okay, de. I'm gonna say it again. See, because I don't want to confuse the person after you.
Okay.
Zahaderi Wadewate.
Zahade de Rewade Wate.
Okay,
Sahaderi wadewate. Circle.
excellent. Okay, that was good. Zahaderi Wadewate. All right, now we're gonna go to rape. So everybody be ready, because
Oh,
if you're not paying attention, then you ruin it for the person next that's coming after you.
wait, hang on, we gotta fix that word. Go back up to that word we just done. Okay, right there, the reason why. Put Sahaderi all in one word.
Okay,
And then what? Put in between HI and WA, put that, and the rest is another word. All one word. No, put that space where you just had it, the space between the I and the W. Okay, the rest is all one word. There. Sahaderi Wadewate.
that's the one.
See, does there, like this, is it easier for everybody?
Yeah.
Oh, okay then, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but it's okay.
Can we try that again?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Sahaderi Wadewate.
Sahaderi Wadewate.
Sahaderi wate wate.
Sahaderi wate wate.
Saradiri wade wate.
Sahateri wate wate.
Se haderi wate wate.
Sahaderi wate.
Sahati wate wate.
Okay.
Sahaderi wate wate.
Janet,
Oh, okay. I keep forgetting.
it's
My
okay.
place.
You're just after Merrick, and then there's Lisa just after you.
Okay, Merrick. All right. Sehaderi wade wate.
Yeah. Sahaderi Wadewate. Whoever's next.
Zahaderi Wate Wate.
Yeah.
Sahaderi wadewate. Circle.
Okay, now that we're there, okay, see this next word, put the KO with TASA. Put your break there, push it back. Ooh, what happened?
What happened?
TSAKO, put them together, push the KO back. All right, Tasago. Tasagonutu ze. 3, 2, 1. Tasagonutu ze.
Dasago no tonze.
Dasago nu tonse.
Dasago no donse.
Dasagunu donse.
That's bonututse.
Tasako nuhtunse.
Entonces.
Tasakanuntunse.
Tasakonuntunse.
Tagasununtonse.
Lisa, your turn.
I'm gonna pass. Can I pass?
It's okay. Dasago nuntunse. Circle.
Okay. Now, murder, wasagotunte.
What's a go, tunte?
Wasago tunte. Wasago tunte.
Wasaguntunte.
What's-a-go-tunde?
Wasako tunte.
What's a do that?
Didn't hear you good, Harold.
Wasagotunte.
Is it my turn? Wasan, or where'd it go?
I don't know, Harold. We didn't hear you.
Go. Don't take.
Wasaguntunte.
Okay.
Wasaguntunte.
Wasaguntonte.
Wasaguntonte.
Wasago tunte. Circle.
Hey, that was really good. That was good. Okay, who's moving that around?
I am.
Well, don't move it around, then you're gonna just confuse people.
I know.
Leave it just the way it was. Okay. Now the treason, wasagodanino, wasagodanino.
What's a go, don't nino?
Wasago nino. Wasago nino.
Wasagunino.
What's-a-go-dun-nino?
Wasako don't nino.
It's a go. Don't. Nino.
Wasagodonino.
Wasaguntunino.
Wasaguntonino.
Wasaguntonino.
Wasago nino. Circle.
Excellent. See, that was good. Wasagodanino.
Here, there's something more than for you just to understand or to learn the Kanienkeha word. Can you go up just a little bit? Okay, right there. He erred in law. This is something that the women have to learn this concept. He erred in law. This is knowing that life, love, all of everything is the woman's domain. The women have to be able to identify when the male is violating her domain. So when you see, okay, can we go back down where we could see the three of them? Just one, okay, right there. Now, when you see rape, murder, treason, right now you think you understand what that means, because rape is you hear of a woman getting raped. A murder, you hear of a person getting murdered. Treason identifies, of course, something that an individual is doing to everybody. And so the reason why the punishment is the same for all these things is because rape is not a singular crime. If one woman is raped, all women are raped. This is the reason why the crime is dealt with in such a harsh fashion. It is dealt with upon the seriousness that it demands to be dealt with. Whereas, you know, that in the non-native world, rape is not a crime, because for ever since in the non-native world, for thousands of years now, there are still people raping. So that means that it is allowed, that it has not been squelched out of the people. When you deal with it in such a way that the person who commits such a crime is put to death, then that is squeezed out of the people. Such a behavior is squeezed out of the people. Now, you know that today, all women, every time you hear of, oh, there was a woman raped down the street, there was a woman raped in your community, in the next community, there's a woman raped in your city. I'm not a woman, but I could imagine how this just diminishes your own personal level of safety, your own personal level of comfort, of feeling good, of living the way that you're supposed to. So this is what the women have to understand, that again, you have to identify. You got to be able to identify when he is violating you, and in a way that is not isolated just to you, because rape is not a singular rape of a single woman. Any woman, any girl, any child that is raped, it is done to all the people, and so that person is removed from the people because they are a weed in the garden, and you do not leave a weed in the garden. Okay, so what is that? What's going on there? What do I push down?
Yeah.
Okay, so on this, he erred in law, applied only to, okay, is there a phrase just for that we can identify Wayagirdo about applied only to? This only applies to, this is only done?
Well, it's pretty clear, like we're as far where we're at now. Look how long we've been working on the law. So we know when you break that, that we already know you've done to be hit over the head, club. You have had to have done one of these three things. And usually treason was more, I guess treason would be something people would be watching for, because everybody had to be watching their leaders, their clan, the men leaders had to be watched over all the time.
Just so that everybody knows, within the Five Nations Longhouse Confederacy, there has never been anyone had to be clubbed to death. It has never happened. There has, since in the last 2,000 years since the establishment of law, when you got a law that says if you rape, you're put to death. If you commit murder, you're put to death. High treason, you're put to death. When you have a law that says this, that you're taught this from the time that you're a child, then nobody grows up doing that. Basically, this is what has made the Five Nations Longhouse Confederacy basically crime free. Our people were crime free. We were free of even people lying. This is something that was not known to our people until the coming of the white man. And so when you're seeing this here, you may think again that, oh, this is too whatever, and it turns a lot of people off. This never had to be done. But you think in the non-native world, how many times has there been rape in every generation continuously? Because there is no law to outlaw rape. There is no law that outlaws it. Because when you got a law that says, well, you go to jail for 6 months, that's not outlawing rape. That is allowing it. That is actually enabling the rapists. So the women especially, you have to begin to grasp the concept of he erred in law. The women have to grasp it. It's much bigger than just Sahadri Wade. It's much bigger than just the 2 seconds it takes you to say these words. He erred in law in English. It takes you 2 seconds. Very much bigger than this. What woman in this world who has ever been raped, every woman knows that when they're raped, it's the equivalent of them being killed every second of the day for the rest of their life. They're being killed over and over and over. And the only way to stop that, when you know that it's the woman's house, you go into the woman's house and you bring such pain and suffering upon her, you deserve to be put to death. You do not deserve to be in this world. This is the crimes and the corruptions that exist in the non-native world, and the non-native world makes it okay. How could you women put up with that? How can you accept being in a world where they identify police and judicial systems and rape, the worst thing imaginable, the foundation of all creation, the life giver, being raped, and in court it's like a trivial thing. Oh well, and they put it upon her. Oh, it was the way she was dressed. You led him on. You done this. You done that. Why did he move? Why did he do this upon you? Always putting the woman in the seat, the one who is tried. The man is never tried for his crimes. The great law of peace puts that man to the proper level of what would you call that? A proper level of law being applied. There's justice.
He's responsible for his actions.
Yeah.
Because we know there has been rape in the 5 nations, but when they get caught, they want to be tried in the big boat because they're automatically out.
Yeah. This is, well, like you just said, yes, there has been rape in the 5 nations. This has been since the non-native has been here. Just like there's been murder, there's been treason. But prior to the non-native coming here for 1,500 years, we were rape-free, murder-free, treason-free, crime-free. An entire society free of crime because the children are taught the law. From the time you're born, you're taught law, and to the time of transition from child to adulthood, you are transitioning from a student into a teacher. There is nobody who is outside of that. All the people fit that. So everybody is constantly teaching law. You're on one end or the other. You're either being taught or you're teaching. So this leaves no place for these kind of crimes. And so this is something that, again, just for the women to really pursue this, these concepts more in depth. Think about it. Sleep on it. Think about what other women have gone through who have been raped. Other women or people or children who have been murdered. And all the people who have been stabbed in the back by one person. By one person doing something that endangers absolutely everybody else. In the non-native world, you have no way of dealing with such things. But here, it's the empowerment of the individual through the knowledge of law. So, okay, from here then, can we just go back and look at what are the words that we got that led the procession of words right from the start? Okay, the crack in the nutshell. You will be clubbed. Just go down where we can see it. Go down.
Elsa, you raise your hand.
Yes, when Kids Council was talking about teaching and becoming a teacher as you transition to young adulthood, I was thinking, so the great law base is like a machine to exercise. So this is exercising the mind. So when you're young, you get to learn the movements, and then you get to teach. So you're continuously exercising your mind.
Exercise your mind. Exercise your mind. How about that one, Wayagero? To exercise exercise your mind or?
Okay. Okay.
This is something that it really doesn't exist in the non-native world, because you try to think about relations on an international level or whatever's going on politically within the society. Where does anybody have a place to discuss these things other than your dinner table? Where is there any place of meaning where you can discuss it, where there can be a meaningful outcome that can be applied to correction? It just is not out there in the non-native world, you know. So these concepts got to be expanded on in order to make this again part of the thinking process of the non-native world. Make yourself think in law again. What does it mean when I do this? What does it mean when I chop down this tree? What does it mean when I do something to block this river? People do these things and there's no repercussions upon them because there is no connection to the land that anybody has. Even the people now who are farmers, their connection to the land, it's not in the proper way. It's bastardized now because the farmer's connection to the land now is not as say like a family farm or a family working the land. No, it's individuals working for a corporation, because almost all so-called family farms have all been bought by corporations. So they're basically just an office worker, and their office is a tractor or their office is a barn, you know. And so when a person is working in that way, you're just working for $1. There is no connection to the land that the people have.
Okay, I wrote the word, but I'm trying to send it through and it's not going through. There's a line coming through. So whoever's writing, it's at your end. Whoever's accepting it, there's a block.
Okay, we don't have it, so maybe you can just spell it. It's okay, I'll type it.
Yeah, but I mean, it look, okay. EN SA space NONHWA space Asanua RAIO space IANE RON. Osanuwara Royanero. Osanuwara Royanero. Let's see. Osanuwara Ro, not RA, put an O there. Okay. Osanuwara Royanero. That's exercising your mind.
Okay, did you say Ansanuwara Royanero?
Yeah.
Ansanuwara
Yoyanero. Take that R out and put an I. Yoyanero, yeah.
Okay.
Sanuwara Yoyana.
Osanuwara Yoyanero.
Asanuwara Yoyanero.
Ansanuwara Royanero. Ansanuwara Yoyanero.
Asanuwara Yoyanero.
Ansanuwara Yoyanero.
Asanuwara Royanero.
Para Yanero.
Osanuwara Yoyanero.
Omsunu Wara Yo Yanero.
Okay.
Esa nu wara uranero.
Osanuwara Yoyanero.
Esa nu ura yo nanero.
Yoyanero.
Yo yanero.
Okay.
아사는 와라 연yan으로.
Okay.
Janet. You're muted, Janet. Okay.
Yeah, I thought I was open. And
I'll say
Zanon
it.
water.
I'll say it. So just
Okay.
listen. Masanu wara yoyanero.
Unsanu water yon nirong.
That's the one.
Lisa.
Also new nowhere also nowhere yon around
Okay, just listen to me and look at the word and I'll say it and come after me. Masanu wara yoyanero.
also new around yon.
Okay.
En Sanuwara Yoyanero. Circle.
Circle.
Okay,
There's
well,
there's Harold and Janet that has to speak too.
yeah, we're gonna go to the people who raised their hands.
Yeah.
Harold.
Yeah. Thank you, Conley. My question was around. It may not apply, right? Because there's so different worlds where there's no crime in this world, and this world is so much crime. But I think of Maya Angelou's story where she was raped as a young girl, and she tells somebody that she got raped in her family, and then her family kills the guy. But she, I think, overhears the family speaking about, or is aware somehow that the guy gets killed, and she feels as if her voice killed the guy, and she goes mute for a long time in her life. Now, I'm not asking to not kill the guy, but I'm asking, are there protocols that protect the victim in ways that we don't see in our world, right? Either cultural protocols or real protocols that make sure that the child is removed from the process.
Mhm. Yeah, okay. Here we might not understand it from the world, the way that we perceive the world today. But we go back over 2,000 years where the law was first established. We came out of war. Now, coming out of war and having to sit with the person that you were just trying to kill the day before, having to sit right across from them. This is a very huge thing. So the whole process was a mind conditioning upon all the people. It was, just think of the way all the people are right now in the so-called United States. It's corruption from top to bottom, from side to side. Like we said, just the thing of rape, it's permitted in the United States. It's promoted. You know, you got a so-called president that is known to have violated women. And so in that world, it is the status quo. It's the norm, rape. It's women are living in that world. So in that world, well, then women are used to getting raped. You're used to getting slapped on the behind. You're used to all of that stuff, you know, even to the smallest degrees of violation. Women are used to it. So in this world where a woman is used to that behavior, and then if she was violated, well, in this world, the person who raped her, again, if he did go to jail, it would only be for a maximum. You know, you got a maximum there, not a minimum. You got a maximum of what a rapist would go to jail for, and it's like 4 years. It's not any further than that. You know, and then, as you know, you go into jail for 4 years, you're out in 6 months. You know, so it is literally the women are conditioned that if you are raped, the person is walking out on the street. You're used to seeing them. And in some cases, the person who is the rapist is even by law ordered to live in the same house with the person that they raped. This happened to somebody here in Nova Scotia, so-called Nova Scotia and so-called Canada, just a year and a half ago, where it was a grandfather or an uncle. It was one of the two, something like that. And because it was family, the court ordered that the victim stay living with the person who raped them. So this is just to establish a mindset where it's acceptable. Rape, okay, that's like saying somebody cut your head off and it's okay for them to be walking around. So in this world, it's like, no, the women are feeling like they are a double victim, because now if the person actually got law applied to them, then the woman feels like, oh, it was her fault. This is because of the way that everybody is raised in corruption. When you are raised in law, nobody violates law. Nobody. Children do not violate law. No one. Adults. Nobody violates it. When law is violated, it is such an abominative act that it is like an alien landing in the middle of us. That it's something that confronts everybody, changes everyone. So from there is no woman who is ever going to be violated who is going to feel like it's her fault that the guy got punished. The guy who does that is dirt. They are less than dirt. They do not belong in this world. What they actually deserve is to have all the cells, that trillions of cells that make up their body, to be de-res, to be taken apart. That's what they deserve. And so the women will never feel that way. But also, there is protocols within law, of course, that does not allow for, or does not permit for somebody just to say anything. And mind you, we hear this a lot. In the non-native world, there was just a case, I'm sure everybody knows, heard of, just in the recent past couple of years, there was a white girl that was raped. I think it was like 20 years ago or something like that by a black guy. And this is just recently, in the last 2-3 years, admitted that she had falsely, everything that she said, it was falsely accused him. So 20 something years later, no, the guy's walking free. So you just think of that in a system where it's somebody who's violating, and people just keep, as a result, getting violated. That is a country of lawlessness, because within law, there is justice that is brought to the criminal, not crimes perpetuated upon the victim, like in the white man's world today. So here there is, like, take for instance, remember 2 weeks ago on the Wednesday Zoom, when this kid came on and he said, he accused me of something. That's how it's like in the white man's world, where anybody can say anything they want, and they're not held accountable. And that's how the highest levels of government works. That's how the judicial system works. That's how the cops work. The cops pull you over for something, whatever, an arrest warrant. They automatically, if you say something, they'll automatically put upon you resisting arrest. So that means that everybody in the system is a goddamn liar. The police are liars, because they're always falsely charging people, and they'll tell you that, well, if you can dispute it, sure. And they'll even act nice to you and say, well, you can dispute it. You can take this, you can dispute it in court. You know what that means? That means police have the right to violate you. If your only means is to dispute what they're doing to you in court, because that means then the violation can take place. That only special people, specially appointed people in society, can violate other people. And when you consider this, we said this many times, how many of you get your human rights violated by taxi drivers? Who got their human rights violated by a dentist? Anybody? Did you get your human rights violated by a fireman? Now, how many people got their human rights violated by police? everybody who comes into contact with police pretty much get their human rights violated on a daily basis. So this tells you that in the society, the perception of law, of justice, it's screwed up. Non-native has no idea about justice in this world. So in this world, to prevent anybody from falsely accusing, is that this is the example what happened with my niece when she died. I followed law. Protocols of law is when you find a dead body or when there is a crime, you call all the people immediately, and that all people who are connected to it are present. And so the heads can start asking questions. Who was the last person with this person? Nobody will be able to keep the truth, because there's always somebody who knows this person is with that person. This is the reason why in the non-native world, the so-called justice system is not justice. It's for the criminal. It promotes crime because it isolates it from the community, from the people knowing the truth. And it puts it into the hands of the few corrupted people who then manipulate the law to their satisfaction based on whoever the individual is. If they're a Freemason and they're a rapist, they're going to walk. If they're not a Freemason and they're a rapist, well, they're going to get the fullest whatever applied to them. So law has many checks and balances that will not allow a person to be falsely accused. Okay, the woman says she was raped. You don't wait till 6 months later to have the trial. No, it's immediately. There was a rape, you call all the people. Who is the one that is accused? They are brought immediately into the center. And then both of them, the accuser and the accused, has right there, they're exposed to the truth of the community, the truth of the people. She has to be able to substantiate, and he has to be able to substantiate his claims. And in front of the people, immediately, right at the flashpoint, this is where crimes are to be solved. Not, again, not going into court a year later. You know that many murders, many rapes in this world never make it to court for sometimes years down the road. This is corruption. This is a gangster's paradise. But in law, there is many things to prevent it. I've already gone too far on that. I don't know if this really answers your question there, but really then to incorporate this into Kanienkeha, I don't see how this would be incorporated though into the Kanienkeha language. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Harold?
Oh yeah, thank you, Connie. You answered. You mentioned that there's protocols that ensure that not only would a woman never feel this, even a child, right? Maya Angelou was, I think, under 8 years old when this happened. You mentioned that there's also protocols that ensure that they never feel this way as well. So yes, you answered the question. Thank you kindly.
This is really how the individual is made strong to be not fear anything and to know law so that to know when they're violated. How many children in this world know when they're violated? Not many children know. They're only taught that if you're touched here, that's a violation. No, children are violated in many more ways that, as you know, traumatizes a person, stays with them into adulthood. That trauma then gets transferred onto others. And so this is how that in the non-native world, that there is no justice that actually stops a crime. It actually perpetuates crimes upon the people, the corrupt judicial system of the non-native. So it is this. I was taught in law by my mother as to all the laws of Guyana Rasaragoa, so that I know when I'm violating or when I'm being violated. And so then I know that if I am violating, that's where I got to reel myself in. If I am being violated, and if I'm a young kid, I have to make my voice heard out there so that it is addressed, because you know that the majority of children who are violated, it is never addressed. You know that even mothers in a family want the violated to stay quiet. Even mothers will say, shh, don't say something, don't say anything. Because, well, nowadays, mothers are stuck in relationships due to economics. And so they don't want, if that child was violated, they don't want a ruckus to be made. So in today's world, it's like to be in that relationship, it's like the mother actually gives up her daughter or her child to be violated. So this is corruptions that we know is in the non-native world. It is there for a reason, because they don't have law to protect their children. That's an insane people. If you don't have law to protect your children, to keep corruption, murder, rape, and all of these things away from them, that society is insane, which we all know. It's already been established. Okay, here then, somebody else said there was another question.
Yes, Janet. Janet raised her hand. Janet?
Yeah, thank you. Janet, the daughter of Teresa, granddaughter to Gajito Wenta, of the Bear Clan. I had a quick comment and then a question. In regards to the corruption, what I've also seen with the police is that, and I actually witnessed this, where somebody, a woman was violated, and the guy that did it, like he hurt the person, like physical violence, and somebody else bore false witness. So the police believed the perpetrator and the false witness, and the victim got like persecuted. And had charges put up for being violent when the victim really wasn't. So that's another piece of corruption that I've seen where, like you talk about democracy ruling, and so that's an example of it, like imprinted.
This is where in law, again, as you know, like if it's in the white man's so-called judicial system, a woman gets raped, there's a violation, it's going to be weeks, months, even years before it gets to the even before it gets to the inquiry stage. Again, within true law of the people, that this is automatically, as soon as anybody is violated, all the people are called right away. And you got to think, okay, imagine it's in the so-called United States. One person gets raped. Does that mean all the people, 300 and something million people, are called right away? No, this is where, as we know, the clan system establishes local local councils. It establishes local rule where it's the people who exercising their power. And so it's the local people who will gather. And when the local people gather immediately for a corruption such as that, then the person who is lying to help that other person will be found out immediately. They only get away with it in the white man's court, where it's hidden from everybody else's eyes. And then when the community hears about it, the community says, no way, everybody knows that person's guilty. But it's the stupid judges and prosecutors and the police, all of that corrupted system that actually, again, takes away the power of the people and puts a false judicial system there that actually keeps the people down keeps them wanting to constantly protest. It keeps them in a state of anger. That's democracy, to keep the people constantly in a state of anger, because democracy is war. You got to have your people ready for war at all times. So all the people are fed gunpowder, and gunpowder is the judicial system, where anybody can lie and say anything anytime, just like that stupid kid that came on a couple of weeks ago to say anything. Anybody can lie. That's not how it works.
Okay.
There was another thing.
Oh, go ahead.
No, there was one more thing you wanted to address, right?
Oh yeah, when I was younger, and I was kind of doing some research on the Kanienkeha before the encroachment. An older person told me that back in those days that the people did manicure the land. I mean, but they said it wasn't done like in a way like the non-natives do. And I wanted to know your thoughts on that. Thank you.
Guayaguerdo knows. What did everybody do every spring and fall, Guayaguerdo?
Yeah, well, you look, you were supposed to burn away all the excess stuff and then till the land, work the land. But here in town, you can't even burn anymore, according to them. In the village, I don't live in the village, but in the village, you cannot burn nothing. You can't burn the grass, so you can get rid of the old dead grass.
And
but
you
again,
think
their laws, they go, and I'm glad I live where I live. I don't have to really be with all the people.
But even where you live, if it was in Chattagee, you would not have the kind of activity out in the swamp, out in the woods that you have here. In Chattagee or any non-native community, you are not going to see people going into a wooded area or a swampy area where there's dead trees and cleaning out the dead trees. You're not going to see that, because I had an experience just in the next community, right next to the back of Guayaguerdo's property. He lives right up against the next town, Chattagee. Chattagee has this law in place that I found out only, I think it was about 10 or 15 years ago. I was in Chattagee in getting wood off the side of the road where it was all dead wood. And the city workers came up to me and says, you can't do this. They're going to call the cops on me, that by law, you have to leave that there. And they claim it's for wildlife. Who in their right mind would be so stupid to say that the dead wood, the dead trees are there for the wildlife? Only a stupid person would identify that. Because what the dead trees are, what the old grass is, like Guayaguerdo just said, is imagine a dormant, a dead piece of your skin. Like we all know, people get diabetes. Okay, now imagine a black part of your body. Do you leave it there? What do you do with it? What would happen if you had diabetes and your finger was black? What would happen if you left that there, if you didn't remove it?
An infection.
It would spread and kill you. It
Yeah.
would. So the people knew how to take care of the land. It's the white man that goes around the world that ensures that, creates laws that makes it so that dead takes over the living. So they protect the dead spaces. When you protect the dead spaces, it expands the dead spaces. It intrudes down into the living spaces. And when you look at people in the West, California, Oregon, Washington, you all know now better than anybody what happens when you do not clean, when you do not manage your undergrowth, when you do not clean it out. You create the perfect storm for out of control, raging wildfires. And so actually, by burning the grass, prevents wildfires, out of control wildfires. Now, anybody's going to hear that, they're going to think, how does setting fires prevent fires? All you got to do is watch any forest fire and see how the forest firefighters handle it. What they'll do is they'll go and make a fire break. And how do they make it? They'll go and burn. They'll do a controlled burn. And that will be the area that will stop the fire. So this is what our people did all the time. Burn the grass. We go into the woods, we clean out the dead undergrowth. That's what fuels our fires, enables us to survive. So it meant that there was a very huge interaction between humans and the land. Thus, a very strong link to the land. Very strong connection to the point of where you can start to read the land. You can start to understand what the land is saying to you. You see all those dead trees over there? The land is telling you to go and clean that out. Go and clean that out and make it healthy. Anyways, this is how the people manage. And of course, a lot more to it than that. One other thing here, just for people to think about. I think we said this last week or something. Everybody heard about the story of Johnny Appleseed, right? Everybody knows. Oh, Johnny Appleseed went all over the place planting apple trees. Ask yourself, anywhere in the world, where the hell are all these apple trees? Where are they? If Johnny Appleseed went everywhere throwing apple seeds all over the place, where's all the apple trees for if you're just walking to school to be able to take an apple off the tree? Where are all these apple trees that instead of you being able to get it off an apple tree, even in your own community where there could be apple trees, you have to go to a local store to buy it. This is how the people kept the land clean also, not only by removing stuff, but also by putting other things there that were vibrant and necessary, you know, like that the people utilized. Anyways, okay, time-wise, you said?
It's 8:32 and we have only 7 words.
Okay, we only got 7 words. Okay, so from here then, let's get a little creative. We'll go back to the people. Was there anything that any words that anybody wanted? We'll go in the order that we usually go in. So we'll skip me.
And Mary has her.
Stuart, last week I noted that we would do I feel good, bad, and stuff like that. I don't know if you remember.
Let's do that then. So,
and Mary has raised his hand.
Okay, while Wayagerdu is doing the next word, Wayagerdu, I guess, kind of like a form type of thing. I feel good. I feel sad. I feel happy. I feel whatever.
Okay, why is it's blocking me again? It's bothering me.
Okay, Wayageru, when you go in the chat, do you see a little arrow? You can choose Longhouse again because Edith was kicked out earlier, so that's why it seems to be blocked.
Mary, Claude, or Angel.
Okay, so take whatever Marie-Claude or me, we will copy it to the Longhouse.
Okay, I pushed Mary Claude. Okay. Now I'm going to press again. It's not going anywhere. Direct message. Did you get it?
No.
See?
It's
Somebody blocked me from your end. Somebody, one of you 3 that was writing.
Right now, we just put everyone, you know, you can share publicly now, see what happens.
Okay. See what's saying something. You cannot, what's this? You cannot chat with Angel during meeting. So I can't chat with Angel. Who's supposed to be writing?
I am. Send him a message.
Mary Claude?
No, Edith. Edith is going to send you a message on chat so you can answer her. I cannot.
Okay.
Everyone.
Why?
Marie-Claude or you, Miss Wilson?
There's something going on with the Zoom platform?
Everyone publicly. This is,
Indirectly.
I'm gonna.
So go ahead, Edith, try it again.
So
We'll
who do
try
I go
again.
to? Edith
Now it-
or Longhouse?
Longhouse.
Okay, I just pressed Longhouse.
Good.
Okay, I gotta rewrite it now.
Okay, in the meantime, while that's happening, who was it that had a question? Merrick, was it Merrick?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so this whole little bit right now kind of relates to something I wanted to ask you about tonight. I was walking behind the stream behind the house where I grew up in. I don't live there anymore, but I went there today for the first time in a long time. And there's these two great big cedar trees. And what I saw growing up it was I didn't know what it was, but it was a vine, it was an ivy. And I scanned it with my phone and I saw that it's an English ivy and that's an invasive species and it comes from Britain. And so what would the word for that be, that kind of species? And I assume I went to go cut it out. There's more to cut out now though, but I should cut it out, yeah?
It'll kill the tree. Well, we'll keep that in mind, like when we get to the end of what Wire is writing right now, we'll look at invasive species or something, whatever as close as Wire gets.
Okay,
Invasive.
you got the word? I just sent it, Gunhio. Did anybody get it?
Not me?
Eat it, you better just type it in. We're gonna save
Yeah,
time.
just say, Gonio, you said?
K-O-N.
Uh-huh.
H-I-I-O, Gunhio, I feel good.
Conhio.
What else?
I feel bad.
I feel bad.
Gunhaxo, K-O-N-H-A-K-S-E-N. What's so?
K-O-N-H.
H-A-K-S-E-N. I feel bad.
Okay, now that feeling bad, is that like, say,
That means you're sick. No, actually, that means I feel sick, not bad, sick.
I feel bad would be,
Take bad out. No, take bad right out, sick.
Oh, okay.
Take bad right out and replace it with sick, because Huxon is sick. Gunhaxo. I feel sick.
I feel, okay, then let's put one for I feel bad. Like where it would be that somebody done something bad to somebody. I feel bad now, I'm sorry. Type it.
Getting you Gunhaxo. W-A-K-E-N-I-K-O-N-H-R-A-K-S-E-N-S. We're getting you Gunhaxo. Now I feel bad, yeah.
In brackets, for something I done. That would be, that way a person would know. I don't feel bad and because of I ate something. I feel bad because of something I done.
Is
Okay.
that the same as guilt?
Yeah, you could, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, anybody else in those lines? I feel,
No, guilt wouldn't be in there. There's another word for that. Take guilt out and we'll put the word in for guilt. Zakaderihuatawate, S-A-K-A-T-E-R-H-I-W-A-H-T-E. Zakaderihuatawate.
and that's I feel guilty?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
is it?
you broke the law. You broke a law, so you feel guilty. Zakaderihuatawate. Guilt through law, through breaking law yeah. Feel guilt through breaking of law.
Is there a Kanienkeha word for lonely?
Lonely? Yeah. Gunduni. K-E-N. Tonnis. Kadunis, that's loneliness.
Lonely, I feel lonely, or?
Is it I feel lonely or is it just lonely?
I'm lonely. I feel lonely.
I am lonely. Okay. In that line, I feel, anybody else?
I feel mixed up.
They will get Hodarhun. TEWAKERIHO. TARHON. They will get Hodarhun.
Okay, that one, is that, when to feel mixed up, is that meaning like I'm uncertain? Or could it
Yeah.
be, could it
Yeah,
be somebody who just had a stroke saying,
No, the Wagiti Hodarhum is having almost two choices. You have two choices, and
I am at odds?
yeah, you don't know what to choose, because sometimes you're put in that predicament. Both are not bad, but all of a sudden you become the judge and jury. It's for your own benefit, I mean, if you're going to do something. It's
Okay.
the best for everybody, but for yourself, all of a sudden you're the judge, jury within yourself. Should I make this decision? So the Wagiri Hodarhum. It's not necessarily a bad thing, because you would do that in the longhouse. Somebody would say, the Wagiri Hodarhum. Our side of the floor, the Wagiri Hodarhum, we're uncertain. Then you have to win, you have to say why they should go. It's something you put up, your side of the table put up, and they're uncertain. Now you got to sell them on it. And then they say, oh, okay. And that's why you got to have a good salesman. Your clan mother's got to really know how to win the other side of the table over.
Okay, can we add there, we are? Could we conjugate it to we are?
Okay, just put TE, then put ION. No, same word, same word. Same TEION. Take KER out.
Is
and the I out too. Okay, now let's keep it RI put back. Okay, that's it.
There's no K there.
Okay, KW, yeah. There. We feel mixed up.
Okay, where's the one I feel mixed up?
I'm gonna, hang on, I'm gonna get it back, hang on. Oh. Okay. It's okay. There you go. It's the same word.
It's the same word.
It's not the same word.
Same
word needed. Look in the chat. I put you the other one with I feel.
Thank you.
They walk Eddie Hodarhum.
They walk. Okay.
That's
All
the
right.
one. They walk Eddie Hodarhum. That's the one.
Okay, so this would be in law.
Well, yeah, it could be in law. Yeah, it could be in law. You're mixed up. You're uncertain. You could be discussing the law. You could be discussing where you're going out to eat for supper. You got the choice of Chinese or home cooking.
Okay, you know what? That mixed up doesn't sound like the proper word. It should be uncertain.
Okay.
It would it affect it? Would it change it?
Then Dewageri Hodar has it. Dewageri Hodar.
You did that.
Okay, take the HON out.
Wait,
Dewageri Hotar
Take
TSA.
the H out too.
done that.
wait, somebody, my code saying we've already done that one.
Yeah, Dewageri Hotar Hesse was done
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
in the mind.
Dewageri Hodar, and put it back to that. then. TARHON.
I have an issue.
Okay, is there, that's what I was thinking. This word here, I feel mixed up. Dewageri Hodarhu. That could be said back in the other lesson that we had when we're looking for the well. Couldn't that would be to say I'm at odds, that I need to have a counsel?
That's what it is.
Yeah, you want clarification. That's why you say Dewageri Hodarhum. You're asking for help.
I have an issue, we said.
Yeah. Okay. All right, then in the feelings, I feel, we feel, you feel, whatever. Is there anybody else that has something in here?
Inspired. Is it the word?
Are you trying to differentiate between a political issue and an emotional issue?
I feel.
No, myself, I was only seeing what, the word, the way that Wyagerda put it there, if it applied to that or not.
Hmm.
Okay, so I feel inspired.
Hey, TE. WA. KONH. RA. TI. HENTOS. HENTHOS.
How many-
THHOS.
No.
We're getting Radihantos, and I feel inspired.
How many words?
I don't know.
Okay, we're gonna check how many words we got and see.
15.
Yeah, okay, we better go through them and then have you record it. So we better start where what word did we finish off with?
High treason, he aired, rape, murder, keep going. Exercise, do we pass this one? Exercise your mind, we passed.
Yeah, it's I feel good.
Okay, we're here. I feel good. 3, 2, 1, Gunhio.
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 Unheal.
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 One heel.
Gunhio.
Gunhio.
Janet. Lisa.
Gunhio.
And there's Brandy and Millie, newcomers.
Gunhio.
Gunhio. I didn't say it.
Gunhio, circle.
No, I didn't say it. Gunhio.
Yeah, next time you're just at the beginning after Edith, huh, France?
Yeah, I got mixed up because of phone call.
Good.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, Gunhaxa.
Gunhaxa.
Gunhaxa. Gunhaxa.
Unhagsa.
Unhaxa.
Gunhaxa.
Just
Gunhatska.
France.
Gunhaxa.
Okay. Derek.
Gunhaxa.
Lisa.
Gunhaxa.
Brandy and Millie. You're muted.
Gunhaxa.
Gunhaxa. And just for people, France is just after Edith, so before you, Elsa.
Okay.
It goes fast, so
Sorry.
it's okay.
Okay,
Was that it?
we moved that around. We've done all this, right? Oh, we're getting Gunrak. 3, 2, 1. We're getting Gunrak.
This one, yeah, but
Okay. Okay, before we move on, I got a question on that one. You gotta let us know when we finish. Gunhaxa. is that just I ate something gun haksa, or could it be I'm sitting in a meeting and I can't believe gun haksa? Could it be both of those or no?
Yeah, yeah, of course. If you hear something that's in violation, it can make you physically sick.
Okay.
But
all right.
especially if the person that's saying it is a bald-faced liar, they'll try to pass it. And you know, like, hey, come on, you know better than that way again. But if I really want to pass it, I'm gonna shove it down your throats. So you're gonna get sick to your stomach.
Gun haksa.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Now your mind.
Gunhaksa.
Waketni gun raksons. Waketni gun raksons.
Organic gun raksans.
Wakeni gun raksans. Wakeni gun raksans.
Wage ni guraksa.
Kanienkeha.
Kanienkeha Class.
Organic Raksons.
Wageni Goratska.
Organic Raksans.
Wagetni gunraksa.
What Geni Guaksan?
Brandy, Millie.
Wagetni Gulaksas.
Wagetni Guraksas. Circle.
Okay, Yanade.
Okay, I'd like to say something about that word. The women have to push the men to use that word in ways that to get the men used to accepting guilt, accepting that we're not impervious to the corruption. There's nobody who is saying these things. Everything that is happening to our people is happening, and there's no acknowledgement on any level. No acknowledgement of that. I killed everybody. Gee, I'm sorry. Not even that. Or on the other end, you're killing everybody. Cut it out. Not even that. You know, there's no acknowledgements of these things. So in through this way, through the people learning this, the women try to use this, and even if it's not the Kanienkeha word, even if it's just to get the guys to admit there's something there in the male brain that is preventing the male from I'd say like being fully evolved. It's like the male knows he's done so many bad things behind him. It's like a boat leaving a wake behind that there's so much there that then conditions the male when those things are not addressed. So even if the littlest thing is not admitted to, it becomes part and parcel to a whole bunch of things that becomes a big thing in that single guy's life, in just that one guy's life. If the guy cannot admit that, oh yeah, I violated you in this way, even if it's just a simple little thing, whatever, you burnt the steaks. No, I didn't. Yes, okay, I burnt the steaks. Simple little things. Try to use this concept here to get the men to that point of admittance. It will break open a whole area of the male brain that has been lying dormant. We know this because law exercises the brain. Okay. Yeah. Which one are we on?
Okay. Sakaderi wate. 3, 2, 1. Sakaderi wate.
Sagadari wate.
Sagaderi wate. Sagaderi wate.
Sagaderi wate.
Sagaderi wate.
Tagadari wate.
Nagaderi Wate.
Sakadiri Wate Wate.
Sakateri Wate Wate.
Sagadari wate.
Zagadere Wate. Wate.
Brandy and Millie.
Sakadali Wate Wate.
Sakadari Wateka.
Sagadiri wade wate.
Okay,
Circle.
now I notice we got two. I was just learning women with the Zagadari Wadawa. I know where you were from. Zagadari Wadawa. Okay, I'm lonely. Gadunis.
Gatunis.
Godunis. Godunis.
Ganunis.
Candones.
Katunis.
Bandunis.
Katunis.
Andonis.
Dundunis.
Gundunis.
Brandy and Millie.
Gadunis. Gandunis.
Gatunis. Circle. Is it ga or ga?
Gun.
Dunis.
Gundunis. K-E-N.
Gun.
Gundunis. Okay, I feel mixed up. The Wagari Hotarhu.
Te wageri hodarhu.
De wagiri hotarhu. De wagiri hotarhu.
Tewageri o tardo.
Te voy a querer votar.
De Wagadri Hutarho.
Wagati Otahu.
Tawagait or D or Darwin.
Iwageri Montaro.
The Wagari Hoda.
The Wagadi word Daron. Oh my gosh,
Okay,
I run out of steam.
I'm going to say it again for you. The Wagari Hotarhu.
The Wagad, the Guad, the Guad, the
Okay, look at the word and I'll say it. The Wagari Hotarhu.
were the I'll pass. I'm
No,
I
don't,
can't.
no, don't pass. The Wa.
Okay.
The
Dewa,
Wa.
Dewa,
Geri
Gari,
Hotarhu.
Odarton,
Darhu.
Darhon, Darhon.
Yeah. All right.
Dewa, Gari, Do, Ho, Daron.
Hum.
Hon. Dewa,
Brandy.
oh, can I try one more time? Dewa, Gari,
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, listen. Whoever's next, just listen. The Wagari Hotarhu.
Dewa, okay. No, I'm taking too much time. Okay.
No. The Wagari Hotarhu.
Dewa, Gari, Ho, Darton. Daron.
Brandy and Millie.
Tawagali Hondago.
Tewagali Hotago. Tewagiri
Tewag-
Hotago. Circle.
The Wagari.
Okay, it was Brandy or Millie. At the end, you said Hodargu. It's Hodargu.
The Wagari Hodarhu.
Okay.
Or you say it in Aguzasne, the Wagari Hodarhu.
Okay, yeah, that's what we said.
Okay. Who keeps moving the word around?
I do to break it up so it's easier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're ready then. We have a mix. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Deyungwari Hodarhu.
Deyongwari Hodarhu.
De Yongwari Ontarhu. De Yongwari Hudarhu.
De Ungari Undarhu.
De un guaren votaron.
De Yunkeri Hutarho.
Deon Guari Odahu.
Deo Kari Hodarhu.
Eongwari Montaro.
The Yongwari Hoda.
Diongori, Ho, Daron.
Brandy and Millie.
Eungwali Hundahu.
Yanele. Hetari Yanele.
The Yongwari Hodaho. Circle.
Okay. I feel inspired. They will get Nigun Radihantos. 3, 2, 1. They will get Nigun Radihantos.
No, the spelling is wrong, the way that you're saying it.
Yeah.
Oh. Dewage. Okay, Tewake. Dewage. Ni, ni, Konh. Dewage nigun radihantos. Okay. Dewage nigun radihantos.
Maybe put a space right there.
Okay, I'll start. 3, 2, 1. Dewage nigun radihantos.
Dewage nigun
Dihantos.
where you put the break. I can't. Dewage nigun radihantos.
The ra should be with the radihantos, Edith, the way he says it.
It's not. Yeah, it's not
Like
in the
that,
right
is
place.
better for you, yeah?
Like that, yeah.
Okay, I'll say it again. 3, 2, 1. Dewage nigun radihantos.
Yeah. Dewage nigun radihantos.
Dewage nigun radihantos. Dewage nigun radihantos.
Dewageni gun radihantos.
Tewakeni gunratiranto.
Dewage nigun radihantos.
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 Dewage gon ratne antos.
Dewage nigun radihantos. You could put that L in there. Dewage nigun radihantos.
Okay, they were it makes me stutter for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay.
Say ganigu. Say ganigu.
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 Dewa ganigu.
Dewa ganigu ratina hantos.
Radihantos.
Radihantos.
Okay.
They want okay.
Brandy and Millie.
Dewage nigun radihantos.
Dewage nigun radihantos. Dewage nigun radihantos. Circle.
Okay, good. All right.
Don't anybody feel afraid. Of course, you're feeling pressure because it's really, you're putting the pressure on yourself. It's easy for us to say, don't feel pressure, but of course, so each of us will learn maybe a different way of how to say the word. You see, like sometimes when you couldn't say the whole word, the waganigu, sometimes you can say ganigu. So sometimes you have to start from the end backwards to be able to say the whole word. Whatever way you feel comfortable to get that out, don't anybody here feel pressure, don't feel ashamed or whatever.
Radihantos.
Do we have more words?
It's just like the people from Aguizasna, them were like at the end, radihantos. They'll put the L. So I understand you 100%. Dewage nigun radihantos. So I know where you're at. You use the L, we use the R's here. So nobody made a mistake. It's just the way we talk. If our teacher was in Aguizasna, I would say Dewage nigun radihantos.
Okay, Wayagerdo, we're past 9 now. So what we're gonna do is Wayagerdo is gonna read off all the words in Kanienkeha and in English. So everybody put your microphone on mute until he's done this.
Okay.
Okay, just a minute, I will start. Go.
Te gasokwa to crack the nut or skull open. Te honu wara what don't wanu warege. He will be clubbed. Zahaderi Wadawate, he erred in law. Tasagonutu ze rape. Wasagotu de murder. Wasagodonino, treason. Okay. Osanuwara yanero. Osanuwara yo yanero. Osanuwara yo yanero. Exercise your mind. Gunhio, I feel good. Gunhaksa, I feel bad. Wagetni gunraksas, okay. I feel bad for something I've done. Zagadiri wadawate, I feel guilty breaking the law. Vedunis, I'm lonely. Dewagiri hodarhum, I feel mixed up. Deyungwari hodarhum, we feel mixed up. And they were getting hatos. I feel inspired.
That's it.
Okay.
You know, as we're going over all those words, it makes sense in the procession that they're in, the order, because as a person breaks the law, they will feel lonely, and they will from there feel mixed up. Anyways, it's just a good flow in this. Just to let people know, the Kanienkeha that we're doing, it's not about learning about knife, forks, and spoons, or about going to the movies, or about working. It's about what is our law from within the longhouse, our language from within the longhouse, sorry. And our language is based on law. So as you see here, just concepts are concepts always within law. It's always understandings of how we fit in law, or if we're breaking it, how we're not within it. So you might think, oh, how are you going to use this language? The true Kanienkeha language is about law. It's not about the way things are today. So we're learning in the true way, connected to law, to get us back to being able to communicate in peace, in words of peace, not just taking words from Kanienkeha and turning them into Mohawk words, where it's just basically now we're talking about things in the non-native world. No, it's about not to fall into the corruptions of the non-native world, but to keep our perceptions and our concepts from within law, within Longhouse. And so for this, to really be able to exercise this is what we're building up to. As everybody knows, that since the establishment of the Guyana Rasara Goa, the Longhouse, which is over 2,000 years old now, it was identified by the Ganawida himself that every 5 years, a minimum of every 5 years, the United People must come together to recite the Guyana Rasara Goa, to refresh our minds. And so the 5 years are up next summer, as many of you know. And many of you know that this is also part of some very big cycles within within Sky Woman's body. And so next summer, we're going to carry out, to the best of our ability, the law recital as much as possible in Kanienkeha. And this will mean to not just talk about it, but to actually go over the wampums in a way that where it's like you, the individuals, exercising it, to like be in council over each Onagorda within Guyana Rasara Goa. Okay, so this is something that everybody knows is coming up next summer. It's our big final ceremony. It's gonna start, as you know, at the summer solstice, and it's gonna go until the harvest. But the law recital itself is gonna start on the 9th moon. But the one big ceremony, the final ceremony of the transition into the big cycle, this makes our final ceremony from the time that the cycles began for us. And so that's our transition ceremony. And so we're going to try to do it to the utmost of our ability in Kanienkeha. So this is for everybody to know that if you are so inclined, that you can come here and for the law recital. The last time we did the law recital, just in English, it took 26 days. And so imagine now if it's going to be in Kanienkeha and English, it might take maybe even twice as long. Hopefully not, but this is what we're embarking upon. We are not looking at time, how much it's going to cost or whatever, how much time we're going to spend there. We're looking at what has to be done. Law recital must be done, and it must be done to the utmost of our ability in Kanienkeha. So this is where next year, again, if you're so inclined, you could actually come here to exercise your Kanienkeha. Okay, so this is basically it. Okay, now who hasn't done the one of the closings? Who didn't we?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Go ahead.
Okay. I apologize in advance if I get some stuff wrong. I'm sure I will. Ayunki hatagenha, yeti sotagunha, nerdol na hari hetsta na gani gurir gari hawakwe. Jonquawis gazatstatsara, desquawis aton hetsara. Zasots dosara, Janine de faro de yostarade. Wate kinu waradu aton hetsera wana. Chakaweda kusera aosats tosera. Yawa yonki adizo for giving me my blood. Yawa for balancing all things and balancing the waters both within and without. Yawa yukinistoa ahunsa, the squawi algerunda. Yawa aguego anukwa su'a. Ni'i yatano, Beyago daya tans genawaze. May all the humans come together as one mind, one body, one spirit, and place Yukinestoa Ahonsa at the center of all their thoughts, their words, and their deeds, so that they may begin to heal her and heal themselves. Teuteri Waranyata, Tite Watana Quagetsquas, Unje, Ate Watana Quasutos, Otoreke, Nyawa Rariwerdas, Daja Dadist, Kaweras Dano Dewanine Garawanus, Nyawa Owakwaron, Nyawa Watun Hetzer, Nyawa Watun Hetzerio Su'a, Sakata Trewate for anyone or anything or any element that I forgot. May you be included. That's everything.
What? Sound like you forgot anything.
I forgot a lot.
Why again? How would you rate him on that? There's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, that's a good rate here. 11 on 10.
Well, it was,
No, he did really good.
no, it's because of Wayugerda. Wayugerda is teaching me, and had it not been for him, I would know none of this. So, Yawa, Wayugerda.
Yeah.
Yeah, too. Do you?
No, he did really well. He's been practicing a lot, and I even think he could have done it better, because I think somewhere he can say that he got a little nervous. But he was only talking Kanienkeha, and he's right out of his boat. So he went to English, and I know he didn't have to, but I could see that would be a lot of pressure on me if I had to go speak French somewhere. Somewhere along the line, I would switch to English or back to Kanienkeha.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
It's
that's
no
really fun.
surprise. It's no surprise that you would do such an effort, that you would make such an effort, given that this is what we have seen from you, that we know that you have a drive, something that is pushing you, that you know, that your average person. There's something I wanted to say, that when you identified Radi Verdes this week, I'm pretty sure everybody was visited, everybody heard Radi Verdes. It kind of, I don't know if it happened for everybody, but it seemed like it was kind of mixed, even with a small earthquake. There was an earthquake that rumbled through here Wednesday night. I think it was around 2 in the morning, something like that. It made the whole house shake here. Even my nephew's house in the bush shook. But here we heard the thunders at the same time. And as you know, as soon as you hear the thunders, you got to go out and you got to carry out the thunders that are at the weirdest. You got to give your thanks for this. So it was at 2 in the morning, something like that. I didn't have time to fix my water drum, so I just took my this drum and I went and I did the what everybody knows, the thunders. It's, some people know it as Wazaze, Radi Weirdos, the dance of the north, but this is what you are supposed to carry out when the thunders come. So next time when you say you give thanks for Radi Weirdos, to really be in that, when you hear the thunders, you have to have that interaction. Otherwise, you can't say, we'll go Radi Weirdos. So to make it real now, your next step, I don't know if you did this, but I'm just saying, in case you didn't. Next time you hear the thunders, if they roll into your neighborhood this week, you go out and you answer to them. And to the best of your ability, you have your interaction with Radi Weirdos to make you strong, to accept their power. You go out with them and you sing your song to it's a male. You're singing your male song to find your connection, like your manhood connect to Radi Weirdos.
Yeah, I usually offer tobacco, and I know it's coming tomorrow. It's supposed to, so, but I will do that. Yeah.
If you hear it tomorrow in your neighborhood, make sure you do it, or whenever you hear it, don't be afraid. I went out there, it's 2:30 in the morning. It's kind of secluded here for me. I got a neighbor that's maybe 150 feet away, but at that time in the morning, I'm pretty sure they were woken up by me going out there and top of your lungs, not woo 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 because you're worried of the other people. Top of your lungs, and you're going to find that the connection that will be made. You'll find it's different than somebody else telling you what the experience.
Well, you know, when I teach anybody the that they're on their own when they're out there, like Steve was just now. He did very well, but I always tell them when I'm teaching them, I said, don't forget, I said, of all the council chiefs sitting here in Ganawaga, maybe only one could say it the way he said it. I never hear them say it. They just say a little part. Most will not even say it, and they are our leaders. That's why I refuse to listen to anybody that cannot speak Kanienkeha and claims to be my leader. They're not my leader. I would have Steve lead me before I would have them. Because we're talking on the same lines. And I don't know how it is in Aguizasne if all of them speak, but I doubt it. So now they're all comfortable, the Mohawk councils, to open in English. Well, they're breaking the law. Right away, they're breaking the law. But they'll say they're not because they're in power. It's like the president, the prime minister can make all the mistakes they want because they are in power. So us as Kanienkeha, we always got it to the best of our ability to open in Kanienkeha, and then when we can't, then go into the language where we're comfortable.
Okay, just so everybody knows, all the words that Warrior Geru, all the words we went over, all the words that he, that was recorded, Angel recorded him saying all that, all of this is posted, it's posted
Well, we
somewhere?
are getting there eventually. For now, we have a mailing list that we send the words to, but maybe working with Merrick, we're gonna have a platform in which we're gonna be able to put all of that, so.
Okay, so right now, it's dependent on a mailing list? I didn't know that. Am I on the list?
Yes,
Do I
you
get it?
received it. Yes, of course.
I'll read my mail, I guess. Okay, so everybody has access to it. If you're not on the mailing list, it's,
You can write your mail if you're not, I think everybody here is.
but we're really saying this because a lot of people are also seeing
great.
this recorded afterwards. So if you want to be on a list, you don't actually have to be here. You can receive all of this afterwards. Okay, so Nyawagoa, just for everybody's information, tomorrow we got the reconstitution at 1 o'clock. So we'll see some of you there. If not, we'll see some of you Wednesday. If not, we'll see you next Saturday again. Danzi Jadatka.
That's on Diaz.
Buenos días.